Hi, I'm Thomas Stanford. Let me tell you about myself. I was born in Quebec on January 28, 1847. 1867 was the year I came to Ottawa, and at the age of 20, I joined the Chaudière Fire Company. I remember that cold December day when I was appointed guardian of No. 2 station. It was December 8, 1874. It was at the corners of Lion Street and Queen Street. The building at that time had been in use as a fire station for 40 years with the Chaudière Company running out of it. I was told the property which the station was built on was originally owned by Mr. Nicholas Sparks. When I was made guardian I had 3 firemen working with me. The men were Clough, O'Reilly and Burnett. We had 1 horse, and 1 reel. I was paid $45 a month that year. The horse we had was named Chain Lighting, and had 10 years of service with us. At the time I was given the uniform and hat I'm wearing now, which shows 2 bugles on the hat. If you were a guardian of a station you were able to move your family in with you. I was able to live upstairs, above the stable with my wife Catherine and my children. When I joined the Chaudière Fire Company back in 1867, I never thought I would be involved in so many fires. One of those fires happened to be the Great Fire of 1870 which nearly took out most of the Ottawa Valley. A decision was made to open the St. Louis Dam and flood Preston Street down to the Ottawa River. Many homes and lives were saved by making that decision. May 23, 1873 is one day I will remember. That evening we nearly lost most of Daly Avenue. I was working with the men from the Chaudière out at Station 2 when the gongs came in of a fire that started in the rear of Patterson Place. Our team arrived with the horse and the 50 feet of hose on the reel. The fire had already consumed numerous buildings and the men and women had already formed a bucket brigade. Women had been busy soaking wet blankets and towels, so the roofs on structures that hadn't caught fire could be soaked to keep them from catching fire from the flying embers. We had water carts supplying the water, and many buckets, but that wasn't nearly enough. The destruction that evening was nearly $150,000. We were thankful no lives were lost. The way we fought fires had to change and soon. In 1897 the department was going through some major restructuring. That year Chief Young was retiring. I remember Will when he volunteered for the Central Hook and Ladder Company. He took on a big responsibility when he took over as chief. His retirement brought in a new hire for a chief. That new hire was from Montreal Fire Department. The new chief would be Pierre Provost, who was born in Malone, New York. Chief Provost appointed myself and Captain James Latimer as assistant chiefs. I was in charge of the Upper Town District. In 1914 the Fire Prevention Bureau was inaugurated and I was appointed Chief Inspector. Before I talk about those years I want to go back to 1897 when I was still Western District Chief. That year 3 new stations were built, Station 2 at Albert and Lyon, Station 5 on Water Street and Station 9 on Pretoria Avenue. Here is a picture of the new Station 2. In 1900 we had another large fire that swept through our great city. They named it the Great Fire of 1900. On April 26 of that year most of Hull and all the western section of Ottawa was destroyed. In the end 40% of the people in Hull and 14% of the people in Ottawa were homeless. 6 people lost their lives in the blaze. The next day the Ottawa Citizen read that it was one of our greatest calamities. The wind that day was blowing gales of 60 miles an hour and were fanning the flames into such fury that the massive structures were soon reduced to heaps of ruins. I remember when McDougall and Cusner's hardware store caught there was a series of explosions which sounds like a feu de joie. We lost one of our best fire engines in that fire, the old Conqueror. Later that year in September I lost my mother. My brother William came from Montreal. The wake was at my residence at 195 Bay Street. Mother was then taken to Christ Church Cathedral. She rests now at Beechwood Cemetery. There are few photos of myself as Western District Chief. The one photo I'm proud of is this group photo in front of the Cartier Drill Hall from 1910. I'm positioned to the right of the photo. We had District Chief James Latimer to the left and Chief John Graham in the middle. By 1902 I had served for 29 years in the department. We had 9 stations in the city. The equipment included 3 ladder trucks, one was a Gleason and Bailey 85-foot aerial truck, and 2 56-foot portable extension ladders. We had 9 hose wagons, with 20,000 feet of hose. 1 La France Company, Elmira, New York, and 2 Waterous, Brantford, Ontario fire engines. We had 36 horses. 26 portable extinguishers, not to mention the hundreds of yards of salvage covers. After serving as West District Chief for 17 years, I took on a new position within the department when the Fire Prevention Bureau was inaugurated. March 1, 1914 I became Chief Inspector. There are war wounds that have followed me through my career. 17 years ago I broke my left ankle when I was thrown from the rig. I've had to wear a steel plate ever since. It seems that much of my career had to do with the month of March. March 1, 1897 I was made Western District Chief, and on March 1, 1914 I was made Chief Fire Prevention Inspector. Little would one have known that in the month of March in 1919 I would pass from this earth. I was the last surviving of the original firsts of the Volunteer Fire Brigade.